Jimmy Butler, he's a very interesting player to me.
He's like, oh shoot, I don't know where to go with the ball because I haven't been able to think.
It was a great series. Game 4 was one of the best games I've ever watched in my entire life. Now LeBron's a 4-time champion, and Anthony Davis gets his first.
It's unacceptable. So happy when the Astros lost because it would definitely be a 2020 thing.
Yeah, I was impressed by their game. Braden Point, Andre Palat, Nikita Kucherov, that was the best line in the playoffs, no doubt.
Stay undefeated when they face the mighty Cowboys with Garrett Gilbert.
Hey everyone, I'm Jared Sandler, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our MLB Opinions of the week. The playoffs have happened. I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by the man with a broom, Austin.
Yeah, our playoff predictions are not going well, Kevin, for either of us. I'm winning 3-2, but I'm not necessarily happy with that lead. A lot of our teams got knocked out. The Rays, who made it to my World Series, knocked out, and then the Brewers, who were making it to your NLCS, knocked out. There were 4 sweeps, which I don't think is good for the league at all. The Blue Jays and the Rays scored a total of the Blue Jays scored 2 runs in 2 games. The Rays scored 1 run in 2 games. I don't think there was any series that was particularly close. Obviously, because it was a sweep. And then the Twins Blue Jays one was the closest of the bunch. But again, if you're getting swept, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I was pretty shocked that they were swept. I was like, oh, that is weird. So works out though for scheduling for us. To the Brewers, you had talked about their hitting, and that was your concern with them, and I thought their hitting would prevail, and it didn't. The Diamondbacks also got more runs than I thought. So really just good job from them. And then the Twins, it's great for them. I love how they finally beat their losing streak. However, there are 2 losing streaks now with the Rays and Blue Jays because the Rays have not won their last 7, or is it 7 games? I can't remember.
I don't remember. I think it's the last 7. Isn't the Blue Jays won like 10 now?
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, I think they've only won 1 of their last 10. Maybe that's the stat.
Yeah, the Rays extended their postseason losing streak to 7.
Okay. And the Blue Jays?
Blue Jays share the longest MLB playoff streak. Where is it? Oh, nope. Trying to see it. They do have a streak. They're 0-6 in the postseason in the Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. era. Wow. So, yeah, 6.
That's definitely not good.
Yeah, and really the Jays hitting is why I picked them over the Twins, but the Twins just dominated starting pitching-wise. And did you see, I haven't really been following, the Jose Barrios was pulled after 3 innings?
I did see that.
Apparently for a lefty-on-lefty matchup is why they went for it. That's why they went to Kikuchi.
Yeah. Not the best decision. I mean, Kikuchi's still a good starter, so I definitely don't think they regressed horribly with that. But to bring out your starter after 3 innings, it kind of will eat into your bullpen significantly.
Yeah, and I think Barrios was doing pretty well, and they just pulled him. So that's concerning.
He gave up 1 run, so it wasn't perfect, but
still pretty good. Overall, I think the Phillies, their hitting just seemed to get it. Brewers, it was a lack of hitting. Rangers, I think they capitalized on they didn't. There were so many mistakes that the Rays made that the Rangers capitalized on some of them.
Yeah, I have never seen a worse fielding game for a team in the playoffs than Game 1. Kevin, have you seen a team that's made 4 errors in a playoff game?
No,
I have not.
And like the Jose Siri error sticks out the most to me when he, like, was he just not looking at the ball, or he's like, this is just gonna come here?
I have no idea. I can't explain it. I was baffled because Jose Siri is supposed to be a great defender. Like the Rays are supposed to be a great defensive team. This is not a team that's supposed to self explode here. And a big part of it, these are the lowest errors in the average errors per game is a little over 0.5, so a little over half per game, and that's for both teams combined. So each game that goes around or goes on, a little over half happen a game. So every other game will have one error. So this is one of the best fielding seasons in MLB history. I think it's the best in a very, very long time according to fielding percentage. So you wouldn't think that fielding would be a major problem. But some of the errors they made, like you said, the Jose Siri one, they were bad. Like they were not. You know what that reminded me of was the Rangers against the Blue Jays. Do you remember that?
I don't remember this. I remember hearing about Elvis Andrews though in that night.
Yes, Elvis Andrews made back-to-back errors, and that's what allowed the Jose Bautista home run to happen. Mm-hmm. So the famous Jose Bautista home run happened because of errors. Like I think they made 2 in 1 inning, and I thought that was a lot. And then you saw how many the Rays made this game. You can't win a game like that because you're giving them so much momentum. And obviously on the last error, they scored a run because of it. It was just, while pitching wasn't great, I don't blame pitching. It's hard to have trust in your fielders when they're always making errors. Like, I don't know how as a pitcher you could look at your infield or outfield and make a pitch trusting that they can get an out. So at that point, you're going to try to strike out people and try to make the pitches a little bit. You're going to be trying too hard to make the pitches perfect instead of trusting your infield to make a play or outfield to make a play. So I just think it all crumbled down from the bad fielding.
Yeah, and onto that bad fielding, we were talking about, or something I wanted to talk about was the Rangers getting huge counts on both the starting pitchers. Glasnow and I believe Eflin were both out of the game after 5, and that goes to filding. If they
especially for the Glasnow one.
Yeah,
the fielding got him out early, and again, I've never seen something like that before, especially game 1. Game 2, there was 1 error, and I've seen many games with 1 error in the playoffs. I've seen games with 2 or 3 errors, but 4 errors in 1 game, 1 playoff game. Remarkable.
Yeah, and then I don't want to focus too much on the Rangers, but I think that's the biggest thing because I'm just happy they made it. It's great. Anything Phillies just seemed to turn it on back to the playoffs.
Their fans were into it.
Yeah.
They had the best home crowd of anyone in the Wildcard series. And I don't know if the Marlins were ready for it. The Marlins weren't the worst team I'd say if we had to rank like what teams did the worst in this Wildcard, the Rays would easily be the worst. They played the worst. The second worst I'd probably say is the Blue Jays. And then I'd probably say the Marlins, and obviously the best team was the Brewers that lost because they actually scored a fair amount of runs. They just couldn't pitch to their ability. But the Marlins weren't ready for the Philly atmosphere. I think if they had played the Brewers, they probably still win because they were pitching well. But Phillies are clutch. They're clutch hitters. They make timely hits, and that's something that teams need to learn. And that's more important than batting average is, hey, when the bases are loaded, you can hit a homer. You can make a big play. It's those timely hits, those timely outs that the Phillies kept on getting, and they just steamrolled them.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's fair. I really don't know what the Blue Jays and Rays do now. Just looking on it, I think it's the Marlins. I think they should just keep doing what they're doing. This was kind of a surprise year for them, but I think they have some solid – they have a solid foundation. Brewers, I think Brewers and the Rays are in similar spots because they're great at just getting guys. It's just how do you build it to where you can go far in the playoffs?
I don't know if they're in the same spot because the Blue Jays haven't won a game and the Rays have made it to the World Series. So I feel like the Rays just have to get healthy. We don't consider the fact that they don't have Shane McClanahan. Cy Young was leading the Cy Young race until he got hurt. So the injuries like that can really, really hamper a team. So if the Rays could get fully healthy, I still think they're a very, very dangerous team because they had so many pitchers go out this year. I think they had 2 starters and 3 relievers that just got hurt. And you can scout all the guys you want. If they're not on the field, it doesn't matter. So I still like the Rays in the future. The Blue Jays are more concerning because they didn't really have that many injuries. Like these are your guys. These are your guys. And they're just not getting the job done. Alek Manoah completely fell off the map this season after wanting to win a Cy Young this year after getting 3rd in the ERA last year. So I'm much more worried about the Blue Jays because they lost with their guys. While the Rays, again, don't have their Cy Young level pitcher, don't have their closer that was there at the beginning of the year. A lot of injuries there to where I can still see a path for them to be a great team next year.
Yeah, I think they just have to keep their guys. If they can keep a Rosarena and let these younger guys stay and develop and just get more time in the playoffs.
They need to get healthy too because
the McClanahan point is great, and I think we can move on to the division series now unless there's anything else you want.
No, I'm all good.
Let's just go with the Rangers and Baltimore series. So I thought Gray and Scherzer would be back. It doesn't look like that. I don't think have the MLB roster's been, or the playoff roster's been sent out, or
I don't know. I don't think the deadline is till tonight.
Okay. But even then, they wouldn't be able to pitch a full game. So I think Dunning's going to start game 1. Then they'll have Montgomery, Eovaldi, or Heaney, Perez. That's really their rotation. And then, it's just the bullpen. To me, I still pick the Orioles. I think the Rangers will be lucky to win a game.
Yeah, I would probably take the Orioles in 4. I think I think the Rangers are good enough to steal a game. Felix Bautista's injury definitely still matters here, to where both teams' bullpens are. I mean, the Orioles bullpen's still good, but they don't have their best player, and the Rangers bullpen's just bad. So they both have bullpen issues. So we'll see how that works out. And I'm excited to finally see a game in Arlington for the Rangers in the playoffs. That'll be a great atmosphere, and I expect a rowdy crowd.
Yeah, and also for the Orioles too in Camden Yards.
Yep.
It's going to be great for them. Yeah, I'm interested in the starting pitching because with the Rangers, like I talked about with Glasnow and Eflin being short innings, to me it's kind of almost the inverse. If the relief pitchers are better, I know they don't have Bautista, but if they get to the bullpen, it's going to be tougher. But I still think you want to target that starting pitching and score runs early. It's just, to me, the offense seemed better. They struggle with the Mariners, but they seem to be better with the Rays. But a lot of it was the Rays' errors. So I'm curious, what does this offense look like now?
Yeah, that's a great point, and they'll have to take advantage of the not lackluster, but the less than ideal starting pitching.
Yeah, because the Rangers, I love Dunning. I think he'll be great. You need him though to go 6 or 7, because
every starter has to go 6 or 7.
Yeah, every starter for the Rangers has to go 6 or 7, if not more. And that's just tough on short rest. So. I don't think anyone would be on short rest. But I'm curious how Montgomery and Eovaldi feel when their next games come up.
Yeah.
So now we have the other series in the AL is the Twins versus Houston. I'm very intrigued with this. I don't know if they've released the pitching matchups yet for the Twins.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I think the Twins could do something if they keep this up momentum wise. They are playing very well. When I watched them, the crowd was into it. And if they could steal a game in Houston, I think they can win the series. The problem is I still think they get swept. And I'm going to hold on to my belief. I got them sweeping the Blue Jays before, right? That's the only thing I got fully right. So I'll stick to my guns and say they get swept in the next round. But I'm happy for the Twins. They haven't won a playoff game in forever, so getting here is definitely important.
Yeah, a great job from the Twins, and I definitely think they have a shot. It's just, can they rely on that pitching, and can their hitting do just enough? But yeah, I'm going to stick with Houston, who I picked, even though it's against the Blue Jays. Houston, I think, makes it to the ALC. Well, yeah, I have them going to the World Series, so I think they still have this chance. But I don't think if you start slow against the Twins, because they started slow last year, I remember.
Yeah.
In that you can't start slow, in my opinion, against this Twins team because of their pitching.
That's true. I definitely agree with that because there are just so many opportunities for teams to take advantage of poor pitching in the playoffs.
Yeah. Now we go over to the AL. We have a rematch of Philly versus Atlanta. I'm gonna stick with Atlanta. This is the only series I really have already predicted. I keep the Braves, but I think it's gonna be tough, and the Braves have to watch out.
Yeah, the Braves will have to watch out, especially those games in Philadelphia. I would not be surprised if we see some intense affairs in that game because those teams do not like each other. They're both NL East rivals. They both played in the against each other in the playoffs last year, and I know what both of these teams are striving for, and that's to win a ring. So I expect if I just say for non-baseball watchers, a series to watch, this would be it. This would be the series that if you had to decide, hey, I'm only going to watch one series, what should it be? This is it because this is must-watch baseball.
Yes, I agree. I'm very intrigued by it, and it's something. Yeah, I want to watch all of them. I think there's great, but yeah, this one will probably be the best. And then we go to the Dodgers and the D-backs and NL West showdown in the playoffs. They've already used that Gallon, but now they have Merrill Kelly probably starting game one. I don't think I saw the Dodgers had a playoff rotation, or I saw something about it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull it up, but what are your thoughts on this?
The Dodgers do have a lot of injuries with their pitching. It's going to come up to their bats. Can they hit enough? And then game one starting will probably be almost 100% be Kershaw. And is this Kershaw? If it is Kershaw, I think the Dodgers win this series because he'll probably start game one, and if it goes to a game five, he'll start game five. So I believe that if Kershaw is Cy Young level Kershaw, like he's been this entire season still, I have no reason to believe the Dodgers can't pull this out.
Yeah, it's really just about after him. Like, is Lance Lynn the second guy, or do you throw in a rookie in there, like Bobby Miller? But
it would
I
definitely
do think
it would definitely be Miller over
Okay,
Lance Lynn.
you
I think
probably
you'd
Miller.
have to start Miller over Lance Lynn.
Okay. Then yeah, that answers that question. But I think that the D-backs have a shot to do it. I think every team has a shot. We're just harsh on the Rangers because of their bullpen being historically bad. They have a higher chance of losing the game than winning the game with their bullpen.
Yeah, that's true, and that's not something you can survive on long in the playoffs. Luckily, they've never been in a situation when they really needed their bullpen to be spectacular. I mean, last game being up, what was it? What were they up? 7-1?
Yeah, 7. It was 7-0. Then they gave up a run.
But
So it
then
was very
there was two
nerve-wracking.
guys on base or whatever in the bottom of the ninth, or there was also guys on base, but the Rays could never get that timely hit. And being up 6 runs gives you some level of confidence that, hey, we may not be good at saving games, but we can. This is 6 runs.
Yeah, a little bit. So I think a lot of these are closer, and I could definitely see the Diamondbacks pulling something off. But I think the Dodgers win this one.
Do we want to say which team of the wildcard teams has the best chance? I would say the Phillies.
Yeah, Phillies. I think the Braves have to be really careful because I didn't believe the Phillies last year. And did the Braves even win a game? Or
I think they won one.
they won? But like, if we want to talk about fielding errors, I remember Michael Harris.
Yep.
Do you remember that
Yep.
error? That was just, I have no idea what happened, and then it went past Acuna too.
They won. They won in 4. They won one game. The Braves
Okay.
did. That's what I thought.
But yeah, this is one where I might have regret not choosing the Phillies in this matchup. But I'm gonna ride with my previous pick and go Braves.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I had the Braves versus Marlins, and I'm gonna still stick with Braves. I think the Braves win this series, but I had Braves over Marlins in 4. I'm gonna change that to 5. I think the Braves win in 5. It's gonna be really hard for the Braves to win a game in Philly. So I think the Braves will win all 3 games in Atlanta. The Phillies win the 2 in Philadelphia. What a series!
Yeah, it just seemed like last year they're one of the best teams in the regular season, or if not the best team, and then they just faltered in the playoffs, coming off this bye. And the Phillies offense just looks red hot. And I'm very curious because I don't think Strider pitched well in that playoff game either.
I don't believe he did. Let me bring up the series stats real quick.
I don't think he made it to 5 innings.
No, he lost. Oh wow, he pitched horrible. Actually, he gave up 5 runs in 2 1/3.
Dang.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to see what the Braves do. But yeah, Phillies are the best wild card team. And then yeah, I don't think there's anything else. I'm very intrigued. I think it's all going to be fun. Do you know why the Rangers game's at noon against Baltimore?
No.
Billy Joel is performing at Camden Yards at 7 that night.
Oh. Okay.
So they have it at noon because I don't know how they do that. Why do you schedule? I know it's Billy Joel, but can you not you knew you were going to be in the playoffs?
Yeah, this is not a. Yeah, the playoff schedule's been out forever now. Like we knew that no matter what happened to wild card, that Saturday, or I guess today for the listeners, tomorrow for us, the playoff games are going to be on this day. So you knew that months in advance. It seems like horrible planning.
Yeah. So and they're worried about parking and all that, so that's why it's at noon. That just cracks me up. And yeah, we'll end it there. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you disagree with us on anything, even the Billy Joel comments. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.